Hey guys, it's Brianna. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my September wrap-up and that's all I got to say. I really thought August was my worst reading month and September is so far my worst reading month in a very long time. I don't remember the last time that I read below double digits of books, so there's that. I don't know if it was a slump or if it was just a combination of me just being so busy and trying to get used to having a full-time schedule again, you know, after months of basically not doing anything. So it was kind of an adjustment. So there's that. I got back into reading like full force around middle of the month. So yes, the second half of the month was amazing, but the first half of the month I pretty much read nothing. So that's why my reading month was not so great. But the books that I did read were fantastic. So usually what I do is I split them up by rating and I go through all my stats and everything. But because this was such a small reading month, I'm just going to go in order of when I read the books. Out of the 8, I only have 2 copies in front of me. The rest I, read either as an ebook or as an audiobook. So obviously I do not have a copy of them, but I will put them on the screen. Go ahead and just jump right in. The very first book that I finished at the very beginning of the month, which is actually 10 count. This is the very first volume in a series. This is Manga. This is also Boys Love, aka MM, so male. I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. I am curious to see where this is gonna go. I did a book haul of this, so I will put it in the cards if you guys would like to go see it. I did buy some more Boys Love manga, and also I've recently also gotten into manga, and I have a vlog of me experiencing them for the first time. So again, I'll put that in the cards as well if you guys just want to check those out. But I'm curious to see how this is going to play out. Our main character is a big time germaphobe to the point where he is always wearing a mask, always has gloves on. Like, even if he goes to a public place, like, he is so grossed out that he can't touch anything without him immediately having to wash his hands. Like, he is such a germaphobe. It's insane. It's also to the point where his hands are so dry from washing them so much that they are cracked and have started bleeding because they're just so dry. But I'm curious to see how this is going to go because it's about his, I guess, therapist kind of giving him ideas of how to kind of break that habit of having the need to have to clean your hands all the time. And there really wasn't a whole lot of romance in this one, so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing where this is gonna go next. And then next up, the very next book that I finished is a series I've been meaning to finish for months now, and I finally read Finale by Stephanie Garber. This is the 3rd and final book in the Caraval series. This is a YA fantasy series. Absolutely loved it. I did the audiobook of this, gave it 5 stars. Obviously, I love this series. It's so good. The world building and just everything about this series is fantastic. I could not gush more about this series. Seriously, it's amazing. Love it. And then, so like I said, the rest of the books that I am going to talk about, I'm just going to put on the screen. So the very next book that I finished is Unexpected Reality by Kaylee Ryan. This book, y'all, I gave 6 out of 5 stars. So if I ever give a book 6 out of 5 stars, that means it's a favorite for me. So I found a new author that as you will see, I started to binge. I obviously, looking at the cover, this is obviously a single dad romance and I was here for it. But the way that the story played out, I was like, wait, hold on, what? Excuse me? The whole storytelling and the whole romance of this story, absolutely freaking loved it. I then went on a binge and read 3 of her other books this month, and adored them. So next up, also I did the audiobook for Unexpected Reality. I forgot to say that. The next one that I read, also by Kylie Reed, is Beyond the Bases, and this book, I knew just based off of the cover that this was going to be a baseball romance, and I was so excited for this. This book also took me by surprise because I don't know if I should announce it. I'm gonna keep it a secret because I went into this book completely blind, only knowing that it was going to be a baseball romance. That's it. This book blew me away. Another 6 out of 5 stars because I was not expecting this book to go the way it did. Absolutely loved the romance in this book. Loved it. Seriously, adored it. And then next up, my next Kylie Reed book, I read The Difference, and I also did the audiobook of this one. I gave this one 3 out of 5 stars. I still enjoyed it. A 3-star for me is still a very good rating. I don't give them out as often, but I still really enjoyed this book. It just was not my favorite, especially since I read the previous 2, and those were absolutely amazing, and I think this is one of her older books compared to the other 2. It wasn't my favorite out of the other 2. When I compare them, it wasn't as good, but I still absolutely loved it. I think I finished it in like a day, if not 2 days. Loved it. And then my very last Kylie Ryan book, I think I've been saying her name wrong this whole time. Kaylee Ryan. I'm probably saying it wrong and now I feel dumb. Anyway, the last book I read was Trust the Push, and this is a racing romance. Again, I knew what I was getting myself into. I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. Also did an audiobook of it. Loved it. Again, when I compared to the first 2 that I read, it just didn't hold up as well as the other 2, but I still very much enjoyed this book. It was such a fun, good book. I don't know what else to say. I definitely look forward to reading more of her books because they are so good. And then next up, we're getting kind of towards the end, so I know I'm going pretty fast, but I just want to get through this wrap up, especially since I only have a very few amount of books. Next up, I read Power Play by Maria Louise, and this is the first book. I think it's considered a novella in her hockey series. I say recently, but like last year I did receive one of her books in like her newer series, and I've been meaning to start it, and I happened to look on Audible Escape because the program is going away, I think the beginning of next month, so I'm trying to listen to as many as I can, and I happened to see that this series was on the program, so I went ahead and borrowed it. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. Loved it. I really look forward to continuing this series and seeing, more of her writing play out. And then the very last book I read that took me forever to finish is Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. This is the 3rd book in the Throne of Glass series, and y'all, this book is freaking huge. Not gonna lie. I think I started this book back in like July or August. I've been reading it for a very long time. I borrowed it from Libby, and I borrowed the ebook, and in the hopes that I would finish it within that 2-week period, because in Libby you get the books for 2 weeks, at least at my library. That's how long I get the books for. So I accidentally waited a week before it was due to start the book. Then I got about 40% into the book and I was like, I am not going to finish this. It's impossible because this book is massive. I think it's like 600 pages or something like that, something crazy. So I obviously didn't finish it. It does have a pretty long wait for this series because it obviously is very popular. So I just put it down. I put it back on hold or whatever. And then I finally got it about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. So again, same thing happened again. I got it for 2 weeks, started reading it a week after I've already had it. And I think I got to like the 60% mark, and I'm like, seriously, I've now had this book for a month within Libby and I'm still not done with the book. So I caved and I purchased the audiobook. So I purchased the ebook, then bought the audiobook because it was like a $4 upgrade. And then I finally finished it. I just finished the rest of it in audiobook form. I can't. Honestly, I don't feel it's fair to give it a 4 out of 5 stars, but I'm going to be honest, I just didn't feel the pool compared to the other two books. I just wasn't as invested as I was in the previous two, and I have heard people have had the same feelings towards it, so I know it's not just me and it's not just the weird reading past 2 months that I've had. But I do look forward to continuing this series. The whole idea behind this series is very fascinating. I seriously really hope to finish it by the end of the year. I'm crossing my fingers that I will. I'm the worst at finishing series, so there's that. But those are all 8 books that I read in the month of September. Again, I didn't read very many. It was a very slow, crazy month as usual, but I really hope October is going to be a better month. It's already starting off amazing. I am so excited about all the books that I've been reading, and I cannot wait to share all the books that I'm going to be reading in the month of October. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already and you would like to subscribe to my channel, make sure you turn on the notifications so that you know when I post again. All of my social media links are going to be down in the description if you guys just want to check out and see what else I'm doing. But until next time, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.